Okay, so we are about to do another window install, a bunker window, just like that one. So I have the CR Lawrence bunker window here. There's two parts to it. There's this piece that goes on the inside of the van, and then the window that obviously goes on the outside. I've made a template here that matches this inner groove of the window. And then we have our tools. So I'll be using a jigsaw to actually cut the window hole. I'll be using a grinder to cut through the ribs of the van, a drill to drill the holes in before using the jigsaw. The jigsaw, you need to make sure you have metal blades and not wood ones. And then this is some rubber that will go around the border of the window as it touches the side that touches the van. Have regular things like metal grinder and tape measurer, and then this Rustoleum paint, and then painter's tape. Alright, and then I have this set up over here to catch the metal that falls. This is the rib of the van, and so I'm going to cut through with my grinder right here, and then I'll be able to tape my template directly to the van to make my outline. And I learned all of this from other people's YouTube videos. Okay, so I'm going to use this grinder, and so I have the handle here that I'll hold on to. This is the blade. It's really thick, and then this is the on switch. So because of a safety precaution, you have to push it down and then I'll close it back down so that I can grind through the rib of the van. This tool scares me a lot, and there's a lot of sparks, so if you don't like sparks, do not use grinder. Show you what it's doing. Okay, so here is the little slice where I'm cutting through. It gets super hot, so I go in stages because I am not great at using power tools yet. So when you get close to it, I don't know if you can see, but you don't want to cut through the actual wall of your van. So I get all the way down to here, and then I'm just going to take a knife and go through the glue on the side, and then I'll pry a screwdriver into it to pull it off of the wall a little bit so that I can just cut the rib. Alright, so now you can see the screwdriver is propping it off of the wall just a little bit so that I know when I cut through it and I don't go through my van. Okay. So now I think it's cut through enough. There's a little bit of metal there, but I think I can just take a hammer and get through. So I'll rip off the rib. than I thought. Jeez. Oh my gosh. My brother did that part yesterday. Goodness. Okay, well, we got it. And some people leave the other rib, the one on the bottom, but we took ours off, and I think that's just going to make like some of the shiplap and foundational things easier. But then again, I have no clue because I've never done this before. So it also kind of just comes off naturally with the other ones, so I thought it would be easier just to rip it off. Rib number 2. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my blade and I'm going to cut all of this glue off of the van. Oh, it didn't even show. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, as you can see on this other bunker window that we did, we went about 1 inch down from the top here. And so I'll measure out 1 inch, and then I'll also make sure that it's in the middle of the space in the back. Oh no, glad I checked. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 2 holes through the van. So I did it on the last one, and then I'll take this template outside, flip it over, and match it to the holes so that I can trace it. I've got a pretty small little drill bit on here. I'm gonna get a smaller one. Doing the 1/8 instead. Probably what I should have started with. Having a tough time. (7/64). Those of you who are experts, this would not be a problem for you. I did the grinder on my own. Okay, that took 1,000,000 years. Alright. Okay, so now I'm going to take my template to the outside of the van and I will flip it. So it'll look like this. And I'll flip it and I'll match it up with the drill holes that I just made. So I stuck some of the drill bits through so that they're easy to find. And then I'm going to trace the rim on the outside of the van and then tape the border. Okay, so you can see it's poking through the drill bit holes, and then I taped it, and now I'll outline it with the marker and the tape. Okay, now it's outlined and I'm going to tape around the border of the magic marker. Okay, so I taped the border. Now I'm going to go on the inside and I'll take my little taped in drill bits out because this whole thing is going to fall. They can go over here. And I'll grab my jigsaw, and you can see my jigsaw, I've gone ahead and I've taped this just so that it doesn't scratch the van. That was a suggestion given in someone else's video. I'll link their videos in the comments because they're much better than me. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right here so that I can stick my jigsaw in it. Okay, so now I have a really janky hole in my van. wrong with the drill. But anyways, I'm going to stick my jigsaw blade in here, and then I'm just going to start tracing the inside of the line. Well, I should have gotten a new metal blade on my jigsaw because I have kind of a cheaper one, and the blade was wearing out, and so it was spraying me with metal, but it's okay. I have a hole in the van. Actually, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just take the window out there and I'll put it in the hole, and then I'll end up taking there's a metal filer, and I'll file all of the weird rickety sides. I don't even know if that's a word. And then what I'll end up doing is I'll use the Rustoleum paint, and I'll paint all over the edges, let that dry a little bit, and then we'll be able to install the window. It's a pretty nice fit. Okay. I hate this part because I hate the noise, but I'm going to take the tape off, and then I'll paint. Okay, so I just cleaned the outside. I took the tape off around the rims, and then I just used wet Windex and a cloth and cleaned around the border there. And then now I'll take my Rustoleum. I'm just going to paint the edges. It's white, and we'll end up covering the walls up with shiplap anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's a mess. I'll let that dry for a second, and then I will, while that's drying, I can go ahead, I'll probably wash my hands, but then I'll flip the window over and I'll go ahead and do the rubber lining. A lot of people use this Butyl tape stuff, but you have to get it off of Amazon, and I'm very last minute, and so I end up finding replacements. Now I'll have my mom push the window through the hole, and I will screw in this inside little outline thingy. And the CRL, or the CR Lawrence windows actually come with their own little screws. And then I'm just going to use a regular screwdriver for it and not a drill, because it doesn't take much and you don't want to drill all the way through your window.
Well, I don't know. What do you use, Hallie?
The jigsaw.
Wow.
So you'll also want to have these two holes on the top.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna burn that. Well, I'm so proud of her. Oh, thank you.
So now I'll just take my screws one at a time and screw them in. And it's best to start at one hole and then go all the way around instead of trying to go evenly across on each side. How's it feel? Okay, now for the water test. Normally we'd take a hose, but we don't have a hose right now. So I'm just gonna take my water bottle and dump water down the side of it from the other side. And there is no water.
Alright.
We did it.
Good job.
Not one, but two windows.